Okay, I need to go through a couple of things on QuickBooks. I need you to log in to gmetrics.net and to QuickBooks Online. And then I'm going to share my screen with you. All right, so in Gmetrics, on your dashboard, you should see the course that we started right before spring break. It has the different lessons, it has the pre-test, the post-test, little videos, and some practice labs. So for grading purposes, I've asked that you get through the first 4 this week, and then the next 3 the following week. And then that last week, week 10, which will be that finals week, is the week that we're going to actually schedule the actual certification exam. I have to proctor it, and we have to set a time and everything. So just kind of plan on that for that last week. And then just using the next 2 weeks to prepare. And of course, I can come in here and see where you are, and that's how I'll evaluate your progress for grading purposes. Okay, now over here under course resources, you've got the student workbook. And this is the workbook that I had printed off for you in the classroom. And you were working through, you had kind of started working through, you had those really hard questions right at the beginning, session 1, like this, okay? So you want to try to go through this and fill this in. Don't skip this stuff because there are, multiple choice type questions, I think, on the certification exam. So pay attention to this, pay attention to what menus certain items are under, where you would go to complete a certain task, things like that. And don't be afraid to take yourself some other notes, okay? This is something too big to put on your resume, and of course the district's spending money on you to take this test, so we want to do the best that we can. Okay, then it'll go through, some practice labs, having you do some things. I will say, because we are using QuickBooks Online, that they can change what it looks like every day. And so you may come across some things here that don't make sense. Like, I think it talks about how we're going to name this company and tell it that we're in business for less than 1 year. Well, when I look at it and try to set it up, that question doesn't really come up anywhere anymore. Some other questions do. So just do the best you can, kind of explore, click on things, figure out where things are, look for that. If you don't find it, you don't find it. Maybe they've changed it. It's not in there. It's not as important as they thought it was, whatever the case may be. Here it tells you to set up your company as Literazi, and I'm going to ask you to add your name to the end of that. So Literazi hyphen your name, okay? And then I think the next one is, it tells you to go in and import a list. Here's an Excel file, and somewhere it's going to tell you about putting in a logo, okay? So also in this course resources tab, there's the student support files. And when you click on that, you'll get a download of some files that are those Excel files and the logo files and some of the little things that you'll need to complete the activities in the workbook. Okay, so just when you get that downloaded, just make sure you know where it's going on your computer so you can go grab that information. Okay, all right, so that's the big thing I wanted to show you here in Gmetrics, is we're going to work through this course outline, and you need to be working through the student workbook as well. Okay. And the student workbook is actually going into QuickBooks Online, okay? So in QuickBooks Online, when you log in, I think when we first were setting this up, we didn't have the instructions, and so we set this up to say like Ronald Reagan High School Accounting Class or something. That was the name of our company. And I do need you to change that because that's where we're going to put the literati hyphen your name. So over here on the top right hand corner, you see the gear, okay, and the gear, and then over here to your company, accounts and settings, okay, and then you can edit and change it to literati hyphen your name. And then, like I said, you see that there's the logo. One of those steps later on, it'll tell you to put that logo in right there, okay. So then once you have that saved, and make sure it has your name on it, because you are going to connect with me. So going back to our dashboard, over here on the bottom of this pane at the left, click on My Accountant. And I've already done this one here, but you're going to add me as your accountant. And that gives me access to your QuickBooks. And so I can see your progress here. If there's a question, I can look at it, things like that. So go ahead and add me as your, make sure it says literati. Oh no, that's the, sorry, that's my literati account, but as the accountant. But click add me with the email, and it'll send me an email, and then I'll do the accepting and all that kind of stuff. Okay, and that way I can see what you're doing in Gmetrics, and I can see what you're doing in QuickBooks, and kind of follow along to see how you guys are doing. Okay. Back to Gmetrics, I am going to do a little bit more research on some practice tests. Because we should have some practice tests available to us, not just the course packets and stuff. So I'll get back to you on that once I figure that part out. Okay. So again, the next 2 weeks, working through the lessons, getting comfortable with QuickBooks, figuring where everything is. I think some of the questions on the test are multiple choice, like what menu would you find something under, and then some of them will be click on here to do this, that kind of thing. Okay, and so we'll try to get that done that last week for that finals week, which Monday's really a holiday, and so we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You're not going to, unless you have a dual credit class, you're not going to have any finals, true finals. You'll have some check-in things maybe from some different teachers, but that should be a pretty light week for you guys. And so we'll put this in there. And like I said, I'll have to proctor it, and we'll have to set an exact time and day to be able to take that. And so we'll work on that over the next couple weeks too, getting that planned and scheduled. Okay, so hopefully you've got these set up for Gmetrics and QuickBooks Online, so you can work through in the next 2 weeks, getting yourself prepared. You know, you do what you need to do. Please don't do the minimum. It's not just clicking through it. You really need to pay attention to what you're clicking on, where you're clicking. Do it a couple different times to remember it, so that you really truly are prepared for the exam. Okay. Let me know if you have questions, and then we'll try to get you all the help that you need. All right.